Okay. Well, hello, everybody. So, one of the topics that came up this week was the difference between good stress and bad stress, how we can tell the difference, and really what these two things mean. And I will tell you, good stress and bad stress differ from trauma, which is an ongoing, repetitive, chronic condition that shows up in the entire system, your body, your brain, everything. It's kind of wrapped up into the traumatic experiences. So, we're not going to touch on trauma just yet. We'll bring that in a different lecture. But today we're just going to talk about good stress, bad stress. So I'm going to bring up for myself a couple of PowerPoints here on good stress, bad stress. So when we talk about good stress, we need to decipher between, okay, is this something that motivates me to move forward? Is it, I want to make more money? So there is a stress, there's a pressure that I'm putting on myself to actually do something, right? So I'm going to create a goal. I'm going to create some action steps to move forward in a way that gets me to my end goal. Good stress is something that pushes you forward and maintains homeostasis. So maintaining homeostasis is not necessarily creating higher goals for oneself, but simply staying at the point where you are or where you are comfortable, which is where a lot of people generally tend to stay because it's their comfort zone. Whether they know this consciously or unconsciously, maintaining their current status, their current comfort level, is often where people find themselves, and they can't quite understand, well, why am I, still in poverty? Well, if you grew up in poverty, that's where your comfort level is. And even though you want more, if you don't know how to get there, if you don't have the ability to create goals and objectives and move yourself in a way that changes that, you're going to stay there. But not only that, but if you do make goals and you start creating and working through these action steps to get you there, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have this cognitive dissonance that says, oh, your unconscious is like, no, we're going to just stay in this comfort level. And you've got this other part of you that says, no, we want so much more. So really pay attention, be aware of your own inner thoughts, your feelings, and know that being comfortable with where you are or being familiar with where you are is not necessarily a great thing, right? So it's that uncomfortability that moves us forward, and feeling that is okay. It's actually what is meant to happen as you move yourself into higher and higher positions. So, when we feel good stress is, oh my gosh, I have a deadline to get this assignment done because I'm in a honors program in college. And if I don't get this done, then, this bad thing is going to happen. I'm going to get a bad grade. I won't still be in the honors, section or class or whatever. And it's all going to fall apart. That's not necessarily true about one assignment, but it could be, right? So some of those assignments are very big. But that is good stress, because that's stress that moves us into a position of, I just am going to get it done. And that's where you should be, is I need to just get this done. The point is to show up, do the work, get it done. That is good stress, right? Good stress is those things that move us forward. Good stress is, I'm going to show up to work and I'm going to put in my 8 hours because guess what? It pays the bills, right? So that can be good stress. When, it comes to bad stress, when good stress turns into bad stress. So bad stress is not necessarily a bad thing. Going to work and showing up and doing your 8 hours can feel very, very stressful, and it can feel bad. It can show up in the body in the ways of, feeling depressed, being physically ill, this overstressing. It can cause headaches. It can cause all sorts of bad things in the body and the mind and in your life. But it gets to a point of bad stress when it does that. When we take that good stress, so okay, I need to go to work and pay bills and maintain my household. When we begin to ruminate on how stressful things are or could be, or what the future may come all crashing down if I don't do this one thing, that becomes a sense of bad stress. Like we're in a state of, like I said, rumination, where we're thinking about it over and over and over again. We begin to blame others for what's happening in our lives instead of taking responsibility. And oftentimes bad stress happens because we're shifting it to somebody else's responsibility and not our own. We invite and create the traumas in our life as far as, not all the time, obviously, there are things that are done to us that are out of our control. But for the most part, when we talk about education, when we talk about, your profession, your vocation, whatever that might be, you attract those things into your life, whether you know it or not. So when you have stress that has turned into something that you are really having a hard time dealing with, this sort of bad stress, if you will, um, it's good to reframe it. Okay, well, this is what I'm feeling, thinking, doing. Is it helpful? Do I need to make a plan to address this issue in a way that's going to help me not feel that it's bad, but that I have a plan of action? So, for instance, if you've got that huge paper due and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm under the gun, it's urgent, I have to get it done now. Well, 2 weeks ago, you knew this was coming and probably should have checked your Canvas class board, or, checked with your professor and said, okay, I'm having trouble with this, or can you explain this to me? Or just gone in and said, hey, I know this is due next week. I'm going to make a plan of action. I'm going to put it in my planner. Today, I'm going to read the assignment. Tomorrow, I'm going to do the readings. The next day, I'm going to make an outline of the assignment. The next day, I'm going to do this. So making those small steps in a larger goal, having a plan of action far before it becomes an urgent issue, is going to save you from dealing with that chronic bad stress. So the difference between the good stress and the bad stress, the good stress drives us forward. It motivates us into doing things that are good for us, that maintain our household and our health. It might feel a little stressful, but in a good way, to get up and go, oh my gosh, I have to exercise today, right? That's good stress. That drives us forward into something that's actually healthy. So I just wanted to come at you with some good stress, bad stress, and some sort of preventative measures and some intervention measures that you can take to mitigate the bad stress. And that basically comes down to good planning. So make sure you're looking ahead. You know what's coming. You know what you want. You're creating goals. You're creating those action steps. And you're moving yourself forward in small incremental ways, because it all does add up, and it adds up quickly. So with that being said, I hope you all have an amazing day. This is just your quick little snippet on good stress, bad stress. See you later. Bye-bye.